Hello everybody, today I am back with another video where I'm going to be ranking the horse breeds in Wild Horse Islands. This consists of both the V1 horse breeds and the V2 horse breeds. You can see that they're at the bottom of the screen, and above them is a tier list of S, A, B, C, and D. S is what I think is the superior horse breed, what I think is the best, and then D would be the worst, and all these other ones are kind of in the middle. You just basically drag and drop these however you like. These are in no particular order, and I just want to give a disclaimer that these are just my opinions, and don't come at me in the comments, please. These are just how I feel the horses should be ranked. Okay, we're starting off strong with the V1 Clydesdale here. The V1 Clydesdale, I think, is just one of the cutest horse breeds. It's so chunky. Their face from like a front view is the most adorable. Their stats can be a little frustrating if you're riding them around as your main horse, of course. I did not mean for that to rhyme. But yeah, the stats can be a little frustrating because their speed stat isn't very well. And I personally wouldn't ride them around as my main horse. Unless it's like a Clover Clydesdale, because I had one of those for such a long time, and I ultimately fell in love with them. I fell in love with the Clover Clyde. I think they're so beautiful. I'm gonna put these in B tier because I feel like they are kind of mediocre. They are adorable, but I wouldn't put them as high as A or S because I just can't see them there. I just think that they are more of a mid-tier horse, not by rarity, but you know what I mean. Okay, next we have the Appaloosa. So the Appaloosa is actually one of the most common horses in the game and is a lot of people's starter horse, which already puts it on a bad track, but that's okay. In real life, Appaloosas I think are absolutely stunning, and in this game, they aren't given many credit because they are really only seen as that beginner horse. But again, their stats are just completely the same all around. I don't know why. I cannot ride these. Like, it just feels so wrong to ride them around. As event horses, they can look okay. They're just not my favorite. I don't know, it's just something about them. I love them in real life and everything, but I'm gonna have to put them in C tier. Next up is the V1 Frisian. Everyone loves the V1 Frisian. Everybody loves them. Personally, I think they're adorable. I have a V1 Valentine's Frisian and I'm obsessed with her. I used to collect them and then I gave them all to my friend. I had like 50 or something. I feel like people were very mad when the Frisian got remodeled, and that's why V1 Frisians are as rare as they are. Overall, they're really cute. I love how chunky they are. And as events, I just felt they were perfect. Like the title Frisians, they just were beautiful horses and they were very well executed for being the first Frisian in the game. I'll put the V1 Frisian in S tier because I know a lot of people would be mad if I put it in A tier. So yeah, this is our first S tier horse, the V1 Frisian. I'm not mad about that. I think it's a beautiful horse. I love them so much. Next we have the Percheron. So Percherons were highly disliked when they were first added to the game. People wanted different horse breeds, stuff like that. People were mad and they just thought because it might have been Trick's favorite horse, that's the only reason he added it to the game, and so on. A lot of people were frustrated that especially it was the rarest horse. They wanted Frisians to continue being the rarest horse. I don't see any problems with Percherons. I personally do not enjoy them very much. Their events, like the Pumpkin Percheron, are just unappealing to me. And it's just something about them that is just throwing me off. It kind of reminds me of like a dog body, but like with a horse head. Do you guys see that? Like, am I tripping? Anyway, as said before, Percherons are not my favorite. I have no particular reason. It's just something about them that just gives me a bad vibe. They're obviously not the worst horse in the game, and I kind of feel iffy about them. So I think for now I'm going to leave this guy in C tier. Next we have our enemies, the Mustang. So the Mustang was one of the first good-looking breeds added to the game. I was taking a break from the game, so I don't really know how people thought about them or anything. But I hate them. I'm sorry, I hate them so much. The only one I really like is the Hot Cocoa Mustang. The Clownfish Mustang is just scary to me, and it looks like abstract art. It's just really the Granny Mustangs that throw me off, because I know the Granny Mustangs are in a minority, but then again, they are a Mustang, and that's giving Mustangs a bad rep. I don't think it's on the same level as Appaloosas and Percherons. I do not think it deserves to be there. I just think it's terrible. I I like the horses in real life, trust me, I really do. It's just the Granny Mustangs, they're just scary, so I'm sorry, dude. Even though you aren't a granny, you have to go down here. I'm so sorry. Next we have the V1 Paint Horse. The V1 Paint Horse was beautiful. The coats, sure, may look a little unrealistic, like the chestnut one, and the blue roan one is kind of patchy, sure, but they are so adorable. Like, they are adorable. I love them so much. People obviously won't ride them. I won't ride them. Um, but I just think based off their looks, they're just so cute. Even though they do not have a perfect design or anything, I think their coat colors, their cross coats and stuff are just beautiful. Beautiful. So for that reason, I'm gonna put this guy in B tier with his Clydesdale buddy. Okay, next is the Thoroughbred. I had to put a Dapple Palomino Thoroughbred for that one. I love them so much. I think the Thoroughbred's amazing. Their speed stat is amazing for races. I feel like they're amazing main horses to just ride around because their stats are pretty good. They are quite good. Sure, it's mostly the speed, but whatever. Okay, just get some good tack, and that stamina is gonna go up. Personally, I love the thoroughbreds in this game. I think they are beautiful. I wish they weren't a mid-tier horse. I wish they were more rare because they deserve it. I really only like the Dapple Palomino thoroughbreds. The other coats are kind of for me. So I'm not gonna put it in S tier just because they have a Dapple Palomino thoroughbred. Like, that's just not fair. So for that reason, I'm just gonna put it in A tier. The events of the thoroughbred are beautiful, but I don't think it's on the same level as the V1 Frisian. Just because I like Dapple Palomino thoroughbreds doesn't mean that it deserves to be up there when the other coats don't look as well. Do you know what I'm saying? Okay, next up we have the Arabian. A lot of people either like it or you hate it. I know my friend hated the Arabians, but I've always loved them in this game. I think they're absolutely adorable. But yeah, people are kind of iffy about the Arabians, and that's kind of frustrating because I feel like they deserve so much better. I mean, just look at the events, like look at the Spring Arabian and how beautiful that was. The coat colors sure aren't the most appealing and amusing, but it's fine. The Arabian is a beautiful crosscoat horse when you put when you breed them with different horses and they become a crosscoat, you know, they just are beautiful. They are absolutely beautiful. I'm gonna put them in A tier with the thoroughbred. Next we have the Andy. So I don't really like them very much. The only one I really like is the double buckskin, so that's why I put it in this tier list. Many people don't ride these around. I never see people trotting around on an Andy around mainland. Like, I never see that. They can look, I really never breed them or anything, so I don't really know how they look with crosscoats. I never put tack on them. The beachy Andy is really only my favorite Andy in this game. The chestnut Andys that you can catch in the wild are absolutely hideous. I'm sorry. The design of the horse is beautiful. If you just look at the model itself, it's absolutely stunning. It's just the chestnuts that ruin it, and plus, people just never ride them. So, for that reason, I'm just going to put it in C tier. It's not on the same level as the Mustang, but it's not as good as the V1 Clyde. Next, we have the Fjord. I love fjords in this game. I think they are adorable. Absolutely stubby, so cute, amazing. They again were one of the they're one of the older breeds in this game with the thoroughbreds. So their coats aren't as realistic, but I really love their fade tails. If you see them in the wild, they're just so cute, and as IUHs, they're just beautiful. Obviously, their stats aren't amazing, and people won't usually ride them while IUH hunting or something because their speed isn't the best. But they do make for great horses for sitting around in the trading hub and stuff. Don't get me wrong. They look adorable with crosscoats. I'd say really the only flaw is that they are kind of not as realistic as the newer breeds like the V2 Frisian, so it kind of puts them out of place. Same with the thoroughbred, of course, but overall I think it's a wonderful horse. Do I think it's as good? Do I think it's as good as the V1 Frisian? Absolutely. Come up here, dude. You deserve it. Okay, next we have the paint horse, V2. Paint horse, I feel like I know nothing about. You know, like when you meet someone and you walk away and you're like, who did I just talk to? I don't know if that makes sense, but like, I feel like I know nothing about the paint horse. Their coats are very pretty. I personally enjoy the V1 coats better, but you know, these coats are fine too. I can see these coats on a V1 Frisian. They are more of a common breed, and I never see people ride these around unless it is an IUH. I've seen some people ride the paint horse events around and stuff, but usually they're just looking to trade them. I feel like, again, I feel like I know nothing about the paint horses, so for that reason, you're hopping in with your Appaloosa buddy. I'm sorry, dude. Okay, Akuteki. So I made a video on these when they first came out. My friend and I were trying to find one, and they look bald. Personally, I do not really enjoy these horses. I really only like them as IUHs. Events, ugly. I feel like ever since they first came out, people were just disappointed. Their coat colors are realistic and stuff. The Carmelo is terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. And yes, I do think it's on the same level as the Mustang. Standing on their hind legs in the corner of like a bedroom, watching you. Okay, V1 quarter horse, I have nothing to say except A tier because they're just amazing. Icelandic horse, so these were the most recent breed added to the game as of when I'm making this. So I haven't really gotten the feel of them yet. I think they look really cute with crosscoats, I must admit. I do not like, personally, the mane and tail design for this horse. I feel like they tried to go more realistic. and I don't know, it kind of fell off for me. It feels like there's, I don't know, maggots crawling up its hair. But I really do like the design of this horse. I like that we have a tiny short horse in the game and that it has different gaits for you to choose from. Again, I haven't really gotten to know these horses very well, so for that reason, if I do get to know them better and I do enjoy them, I will put them at a higher level, but for now it's going to stay in B tier just because I know barely anything about them. Clydesdale. I love the V2 Clydesdales. I especially love the Seal Brown, which is why I put it in here. The events, they're pretty good. But yes, I would totally ride one of these. Even though it doesn't have the best stats, I would ride them. I think they're amazing. So I'm putting him at A tier. Okay, next we have the V2 Frisian. So the V2 Frisian, people weren't necessarily happy with. They wanted the V1s to stay because the V1s are pretty little princesses. And honestly, I don't blame them. I don't really like the V2 Frisian very much. Obviously, I've been playing this game for a while, so I got really attached to the V1 Frisians and stuff, but I just feel like the V2 Frisian just isn't on the same level as the V1 Frisian. Again, they look beautiful as events and IUHs. They look okay with cross coats. It's just something about them, something about the beef between the V1 and V2 Frisian that just sets me off. So I'm gonna put you in B tier. You're not my favorite. I'm sorry. Next we have the V2 quarter horse. I love the V2 quarter horse, if I'm being honest. Like, I think they are adorable. I think they're so cute. The buckskin one, oh my god, it's adorable. It's amazing. Obviously, they don't have the best stats. Obviously, they are the most common in the game, but they're absolutely adorable. Absolutely amazing. I love them so much. They're not on the same level as the V1 quarter horse. We will always love the V1 quarter horse. V1 quarter horse is staying in A tier, so I'm going to put V2 quarter horse in B tier, just below him. Next we have the V1 Appaloosa. The V1 Appaloosa isn't my favorite because it looks like the booty spot has sprinkles all over it. I'm not the only one who sees that. I think they're very cute, just like all the V1s, but I feel like they just could have been executed better. I would feel bad putting them in C tier, but I would feel bad putting them in A tier because I feel like they do not deserve to be there. But I'm gonna put it in C tier just because he's not the brightest, but I still love you. And if I see you with a beautiful crosscoat, I might reconsider that decision and remake this list like a year later. How cool would that be? Like I recreate this list in a year to see how my mind has changed and see all the new breeds. That'd be amazing. But yeah, this is my list right now as with the V1 Frisian and Fjord, and D with the Mustang and Tech A just because they're terrifying. But yeah, let me know how you guys would organize this list in the comments below. Again, don't come at me. This is just how I feel the horses should be ranked. I really had to think about this, but yeah.